Well, hello there. I hope that you're doing fantastic. And I'm so happy to be here live with you today. And so, if you're joining us live, I'd love for you to put in the comments, hey, and let me know your name. And if you're watching the replay, I'd love for you to put in the comments, hashtag replay. So, with that being said, if you're brand new to me, my name is Whitney McNeill. I'm a certified medium and spiritual mentor, and I love helping spiritual and ambitious souls connect to their intuition and their spirit guides so they can then connect more fully in their life purpose, make aligned decisions in relationships and business, and increase their financial abundance in their life. But today, we're really focusing in on your intuition. And by the way, if you've not heard already, we have a 3-day intuition and spirit guide challenge happening on September 14th. And I'd love for you to sign up at messengerspirit.com/sign up. I know many of you watching have already signed up, and I'm so happy that you're here with us or watching either live or on the replay. And I know that we're not going to officially get started until the 14th, but I had to jump in here live today to talk about a question that so many of my students ask. And it's like, why am I not getting intuitive messages? This is a big one. And so I'm going to be breaking it down. Hey, Skyla, good to see you. Hey, Nakia, good to see you as well. And everyone else here watching. So Chandra has posted the sign up link in the comments if you are ready to sign up, if you've not. And if you've already signed up and you're watching, then just keep on waiting and talking to your spirit guides until the 14th. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into why you might feel like you're not getting your intuitive messages. So, when you have that sensation, you're like, Whitney, I've been trying to make a decision. Whitney, I'm like talking to my guides and I'm getting crickets. What's going on? Number one, my students will usually say to me, I just think I wasn't born with it. I feel like I wasn't born with it. And so therefore I must not have any intuitive ability at all. Please help. What's going on? Like maybe I just wasn't made for this. So one thing I want to share with you is that every single person is intuitive. Every single person was born with the ability to connect to their intuition. This is our compass. This is the compass that we were born with that helps to navigate if this is really my true north as you're moving forward. Now, our spirit guides are our navigators that help us, and they look up and say, hey, I see a road sign ahead, or hey, pivot over here to the right. So our spirit guides help us, or our navigators are actively involved, but our intuition is really the way that we receive those messages and our internal compass that moves forward. But here's the thing. When we're born differently, uniquely. And with that being said, there's been a lack of education about intuition in the world. And so you might think that what you're seeing in the movies is true. And so I'm going to say 99% of the time, what you're seeing in the movies is not true. A lot of times people say, well, I'm supposed to see spirit when I meditate, or I'm supposed to hear spirit. Actually, not necessarily. There are many different ways to get your intuitive messages. And so we're going to be talking about that in the 3-day challenge, messengerspirit.com/sign up. And so if you want to learn more about how you're getting your message, I hope that you join us in the challenge. So one, everyone is intuitive. Everybody watching, you're intuitive. It's really about learning how you're getting the messages. So if you feel like you have developed your intuition before and you're getting crickets, then another reason why you might not be getting your intuitive messages is because your emotions could be very high. Maybe you're going through an emotional situation right now, or you have a lot of fear. Maybe you have a lot of anger, or maybe you're grieving. Whatever the emotion is, when we have that thick emotion around us, it can be more challenging to get our intuitive messages the way we're used to. Now, your spirit guides give you messages the path of the least resistance. So with that being said, they'll still give you the message through a tangible sign, or maybe they will give a message to your friend who then gives it to you. But with that, it may be challenging to get your messages the way you've been used to because you've got a thicker bubble of energy around you. And so allowing yourself that space and that time to clear. So you can clear your energy, focus on self-healing, really allowing that to come through and knowing that that's part of the process. Now, The other thing I want to share with you, there's actually several things, is have you developed your intuition? If you haven't, then that can be a reason. Maybe you think that you're like, I'm ready. The message should come in right now. It does not work that way. So while spirit can certainly give you messages at any time, it's really an intuitive muscle that you need to flex. So, with that being said, have you developed your intuition? Have you actually invested in a class or a course? Have you been investing in your time? Have you been putting it as a priority? So, with that being said, that's going to be really important to understand, have I developed it? And do I know how I'm getting my messages as well? And here's the thing, how you get your messages today can change in 2 weeks. It really depends on our energy system. And so it's important to be acquainted to the different ways intuition flows through. So a lot of times too, we'll blame our spirit guides. We'll blame ourselves like, oh, I'm just not born with it. And oh, my spirit guides just must be sitting on a bench over there twiddling their thumbs. So with that being said, a lot of times it's not anybody's fault. It's just seriously your decision that you're asking your guides to help you with. You're not getting a message because it's up to you. So we're born with intuition. We're also born with free will. We get to decide what it is. Now, if you're making a decision and it's a no, you're going to feel like it's a hell no in some way. So, your spirit guides are kind of waving like, don't do it. No, you'll get that no if you're truly paying attention to your intuition. And a lot of times people are so worried that they're going to miss the no. They're afraid to actually take steps in the right direction because they didn't feel a hell yes and they didn't feel a hell no. And they're like, I don't know. I'm stuck and I'm frozen. When that happens, what normally is the answer is that your spirit guides are saying, hey, you can benefit from this. It's up to you. It's up to you if you want to do this or if you don't want to do this. And you can find some great growth with it. So it's not a hell no. It's up to you. Do you want to do it or do you not want to do it? And so with that being said, let's talk about our intuition. With our intuition being a priority. So let's say that you're thinking about signing up for our 3-day challenge and you're like, hey, I'm not getting like a hell yes or a hell no. I don't know. So it's really spirit saying you have to show some interest. Are you ready to make it a priority in your life? And so if you're ready to make it a priority, then you need to step up to the plate and say yes. And so when we step up to the plate and say yes, that's when our growth starts happening. We also can apply that concept to anything in our life. The same with business, the same with relationships. As we're moving through and we are saying, okay, I'm doing this, like I'm actually going to do this, then our spirit guides start creating more opportunities and the synchronicities abound. That's when things come in right and left. And we're like, okay, all right, we've got this. But if you just want to put it on the back burner and stay in your holding zone, then that's the way it's going to be. So you actually have to take intuitive action as well. And with that being said, sometimes we want it handed to us on a silver platter. And in fact, we're the ones who are driving the car, right? The vehicle, and the car represents your body. So you're here driving. And so you've got navigators that are like, hey, you could go either way. But like, if you want to see some growth and you're telling us you want to see some growth, you actually have to like go ahead and make that turn, go down that road. So hopefully that helps you understand that. Now, another thing, if you're not getting intuitive messages, it can be that you're not communicating with your spirit guides on a consistent basis. So a lot of times we think we just can turn on intuition and it'll just happen whenever it happens. And the way I teach my students is, hey, you can work with your intuition every single day. And it's really important to communicate with your spirit guides about that relationship and that rapport. You know that you have a relationship with people in your life who are really close to you, and sometimes they can finish your sentences and you can finish theirs, or you just kind of know what they would say about something because you know them so well. Hey, it's time to do that with your spirit guides as well. So with your spirit guides, sometimes we assume that they're just going to know everything. And so if you're not getting your intuitive messages, it could be because you're not communicating with them. We actually have to communicate with them. They're not going to just kind of peek into our mind and pull out every single thought that we have. communication is a two-way street. So, are you consistently communicating with your guides? Now, another reason that I want to talk about why you might feel like you're not getting messages is because your energy is not clear. You've been thinking, maybe you're too much in your ego. It's like talky all the time inside your mind. Perhaps you are caught up in someone else's life, or you're just in the throes of your business and you are really making some changes in your life. Whatever it is, it's time to clear your energy. It's really challenging to hear somebody on a telephone if there's a lot of static. So when you are communicating with your guides and receiving them messages, you got to be present, and also let's clear as much as we can. Now, this doesn't have to be perfection. I feel that sometimes I attract a lot of students who are wanting perfection. However, that doesn't really happen. And so if we're waiting for that perfect moment, it's like, you're not going to do it consistently. So what we want to do is minimize the static, minimize the clutter going on. And so the way that I teach my students is in 5 seconds, you can clear your mind. Now, if you feel like meditating for an hour or so is helpful, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But just clearing your energy. It can be as simple as going outside, taking 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out, and just allowing yourself to ground into the earth, and then talk to your guides. Now, another reason you might feel like you're not getting your intuitive messages is because they're coming in a different way than you think they're supposed to. So this happens quite a bit with our movies that we see. We think it's going to come in a certain way, or maybe it came in one way when you were younger and now you're like, well, I don't ever see spirit anymore. That's because it can come in a different way. So I want to talk about your body. So with your body, this is one of the, I would say, least worked with ways that we get messages. So we get messages through sight, through sound, through feelings and knowings and thought. We also can get messages through smelling and tasting. But the body is an intuitive vessel, an intuitive tool. And so if you're tired, now, I understand, just disclaimer, I understand that there's health conditions. I understand that there's lack of sleep and things like that. But I want to say, on average, if everything's looking okay and you're tired, listen to your body. It might be telling you not to go in the car to go to the grocery store. If you're feeling excited, and when I say feel, I'm not talking about the empath. I'm talking about your body being energetic, like, woohoo, I've got lots of energy. Like, what are we doing? Ready to go. That's actually an intuitive message as well. Pay attention to the opportunity that your body is responding to. So, is your body heavy? Like, could be that that's an intuitive message of what you're asking about is not for you. If you are light, your body feels light, could be that that is a yes. If you're tired or if you're excited and energetic, those things can be helpful. So for an example, I've used this technique in my life many of times, and so have my students as well. And so I remember that I was going to go to a birthday dinner. And I was so tired. I just was like, I just need to take a nap. And I'm a person that does not take naps. Like, I just don't nap. And so I thought, I'm so tired. Like, oh my gosh. And so we kept trying to go. We kept trying to go. And it was my husband's birthday. And so with him, he also just more things kept coming up where we couldn't leave on time. So as we're driving, we're like, gosh, we're not going to have time to eat the dinner where we wanted to eat and then also go to the movie. And I had an intuitive thought that popped up and said, go eat here. And so when we went, we actually fulfilled one of his wishes. So earlier in the day, he found out that one of his mentors was in the city of Sedona. And he's like, gosh, I'd love to send it out to the universe to say, I'd love to meet this person in person. Well, guess who we met? His mentor. And it was all because we listened to our body. So with that being said, that's really important with any decisions. And also as you're moving through, it's important to allow your body to kind of tell you what's going on. Sometimes it's the least important thing that we think of in intuition, But if you are the channeler archetype, which we'll talk about inside of our 3-day challenge, then you need to pay attention to that a little bit more. So let's review. You might not feel like you're getting your messages because maybe you think that you're not intuitive, but I'm here to tell you every single person's intuitive. You just need to know how it comes in for you. And I want to help you do that inside of our free challenge. For those of you who are already signed up, I'm so happy that you are here. Those of you who are watching and are not signed up, you can do it at messengerofspirit.com/sign up. Maybe you're not getting your intuitive messages because your emotions are around you so much and you need to just allow yourself some time and some healing. But also pay attention to how the messages come in a different way. Maybe you're watching a TV show and you hear something, and then all of a sudden you're listening to an audio CD and you hear the same phrase. And then all of a sudden you see a billboard and it's the same phrase. Right then and there, your guides are still communicating with you. It just might feel like a little heavy right now for it to get through. Maybe you're feeling like you're not getting your messages, and the reason can be that you have not developed your intuition. You haven't made it a priority. You've been putting it on the back burner for years. You've not invested in a course or a mentor. You're not doing exercises. That can be something that's coming up for you. Maybe you're not getting your messages because it's up to you. And Spirit's like, I'm not giving you a hell yes or hell no. It's totally up to you. And so are you ready to take action? Does it feel good to you? Are you ready to do it? And so with that being said, we actually have to step up to the plate and put our energy into the game for our spirit guides to say, all right, they're serious, I'm ready to do this. Also, are you communicating with your guides consistently? If you're feeling like you're not getting your messages, it could be that you don't communicate with your spirit guides consistently and that you just assume that they know what you need and assume that you're just going to get intuitive messages as you need them versus on a consistent basis. Like if I did not communicate with my husband or my best friends or my family on a consistent basis, and I just assumed that they knew what was going on with me, I probably wouldn't be very happy, especially when it comes down to important decisions. Like it's kind of like giving your power away. You're just assuming, like, I don't know, just come up with something for me. Like, no, we need to put our energy in the game and set our intentions to say, hey, this is where I'm at. How can you help? How can we do this together? Also, if you feel like you're not getting your messages, it could be because they're coming in a different way that you're not expecting, like your body, for instance. And also, you might not be getting your messages because your energy is not clear and you are micromanaging the answer. So with that being said, I'd love for you to do this little exercise. Take a few moments, communicate with your guides out loud or with the intention that they hear your thoughts, and send out this wish, like you're sending out a wish to the universe, like a letter, almost like a love letter of, hey, I would really love some assistance with making this decision. And here are my intentions. And just imagine that you're sending it out into the universe and to your spirit guides and just let it go. Let it go and stop micromanaging and see when it comes in when your mind is clear. So I hope that you found this helpful, and I'm so excited to work with you on September 14th, 15th, and 16th, where we're going to be going into some more in-depth training. And so again, I'm so excited. If you've not signed up, the link's in the comments, the link's right here in the video, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. And I will be back inside of the group next week to talk about some other topics that you've probably been wondering about. All right, that's it for now. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.